Too wet and windy to go flying lately, it certainly is in the UK. How about enhancing your model with some LED light strips? I just happen to have some of this stuff kicking around in my house, but you can buy it here on eBay, dead cheap. 12 volt, different colours here on this particular eBay site. Maybe you'd like to put red and greens on for port and starboard. I was so bored with the weather, decided to jazz up this little Spitfire of mine, which is of course a little 10-pound chuck glider converted to RC. One of 8 or 9 that I've done now. Anyway, let's get on with it. I'll show you how to do this LED stuff. First thing to say, which is pretty important, is these kind of LED strips that you see advertised on eBay and elsewhere require 12 volts DC to operate, which is fine if you're using a 3S battery or anything bigger than that, but they obviously won't work with less than a 3S, which will give you the 12 volts. If you're using a 4S, you could either use the balancing plug to take out a suitable output at 12 volts, or you can get a chip to drop the voltage down to 12 volts. So that's the first thing to say. Next thing, of course, is decide where you want to put it. So once you've made that monumentous decision, the next step will be to cut the little strip to the appropriate length. Cut a strip to the appropriate length and make sure you cut at one of these points where you've got the tabs either side, like that. And then it's a question of soldering on a couple of tails. I'm using this telephone extension wire, which is perfect for the job because it's so lightweight and LEDs carry such a tiny bit of current. Note that these tabs are marked plus 12 volts and negative on that one, plus on this side, and then solder the tails on of a length that's suitable, obviously, to go from here through the wing and into the body. Just tin the ends of the wires first, like that. Tin the tabs. So tin those, and then it's just a question of a light touch like so. There's one. Don't forget positive and negative side. And there's the other, just like that. So now ready to be stuck onto the wing or wherever you want to mount it. There's a bit of tape on the back because these are self-adhesive. Peel off the tape and stick it on. I've got a bit of Scotch crystal over that just to give it extra security on that leading edge there. And I made a little groove in the wing to keep that flat. Then feed the wires through to where your battery and speed controller and receiver are. And then what I'm going to do here is, that's the 3S feed to my speed controller. I'm going to take a blade, take off the heat shrink, desolder the JST and hook into that so that when I plug the battery into this, the strip lights will just come on. So let's get on and do that. So that's heat shrink off and the negative side desoldered, and now I've just got to do the other side and solder on the positive and negative tails from my LED lights. So that's the two negatives to my LED lights connected to the connection between the JST and the negative side of the speed controller. Obviously I'll put a bit of shrink over that once I've tested, and now I'll desolder that and then solder the two positives to that side. Okay, so just before putting the shrink on, having soldered both sides now, I'll just test. We have light. Well, that's it, finished, sorted. So that's the JST positive lead, that's the negative lead, and those are my tails tidied away underneath the shrink. Just tuck that back in, and all I have to do is connect, and yo, we have light, and they look even better in the dark. So that's how you can add LED lights to your models. One last thing to mention, as you will no doubt know, a 3S fully charged is actually 12.6 volts. I tested my LEDs up to 13 volts, 1.3. They're fine, they just get a bit brighter. Obviously there will be a point where if you give it too much voltage, you'll kill them. But as I mentioned at the beginning, there are ways of getting 12 volts from a bigger LiPo. And they're okay down to 11, they just get dimmer as your battery discharges. So, hope you found that interesting. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and why not check out some of the other stuff on my channel, lots of RC stuff, and why not even subscribe if you want to see more. Any questions or observations, please stick them in comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. But that is all for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I will catch you all again soon. Happy flying.